have a sense for how hard it has been. This is only the Bills' second time to get this round in the stretch that you've been here. They've been a very, very, very good team. Do you have a sense of just how hard it is to keep doing what you're doing against this group of teams that are all very good over these years?
No, I have a lot of respect for the teams that we've had a chance to play. So we've been fortunate to be able to get to this level, small margin between winning and losing in the National Football League. So again, we're fortunate to be here, although a lot of hard work's gone into it from all our guys. Yeah.
Coach, last game against the Bills, Patrick didn't have any rushes. I know he had one that was called back because of the penalty, but that's obviously part of his game and something he does real well in buying you guys an extra set of downs. They have a special plan, something that was unique. Is that one of those tip your caps to them? They had a good plan, and do you expect them to go back to that to start next?
Yeah, well, they've been running the ball very well. They've got two good running backs, and they've got a quarterback that can run. So they ran it, I want to say, 35 times last week. So I'm sure they're gonna continue to utilize that. They've been doing that this year, and then at the same time, he can throw the ball too, and he throws it well. So as far as our game plan goes, we're gonna play what we do and go with it. And sometimes Pat takes off and runs. Sometimes he doesn't need to.
I was actually talking about Patrick running.
Yeah.
They took away how he didn't have any rushes.
Yeah.
And that they were able to take that away, that part of his game away from you. I mean, is that something unique that they did last time compared to what they've done in other games?
Yeah, they spied him last time. Yeah, they did a good job with that. Although we didn't have runs called at that time, we just had throws. And so I thought you were comparing the two. They've got called runs for their quarterback, and that's not what we have. Yeah.
Coach, Buffalo's really good at forcing turnovers. What makes them so good at taking the ball from the offense?
Who was it? Did you mention?
Buffalo.
Yeah, they're one of the best in the league, if not the best. So their turnover ratio is right at the top. So they do a good job of whether it's stripping the ball and or intercepting the ball. The guys have got good skill on the back end, along with the linebackers. So yeah, they've got a good scheme that puts them. Gives them an opportunity to be able to do that.
Well, the last two, Todd and then Coach, you guys had 8 sacks last week on defense. The Bills have done a nice job of protecting Allen. I know he's tough to tackle, but what are the keys to getting to him and getting him on the ground? Because it seems to be a difficult task for most.
Yeah, no, he's tough to get down. I tell you what I probably tell you every week is you got to stay disciplined and stay in your lanes, and then you go from there. Yeah. But once you have a hold of him, you better know he's tough to bring down, so you better finish it. Yeah.
Coach, I know we talked about this a little bit on Monday about how Houston was able to finish the first half and then start the second half and really keep you on the side. That's become, at least in the talking points of have teams gotten better at that? Is that something that you back when you were with the Packers, maybe it wasn't talked about as much, and now it's a real point of emphasis to try to, defer, control that time in the middle? Has it changed?
You know what? I don't know. I know what it is over the last 10 years or so. So it's been very consistent. If you're going to take me back 25 years, I might not have that stat for you, but I know teams are fairly consistent with that, with deferring, and then having that opportunity to work to drive that second half and get the ball.
Is it part of the game calling of trying to not just score? I mean, you've always said scoring is the most important thing, right? Obviously.
Yeah. Well,
also burning the clock at the end.
You hope you finish with the ball, and then you hope you get to start it and get you an extra series in there. However, there's no. It's about 50-50 right there on the good and bad of it. So it's not a huge thing if you don't get it.
Hey, let me ask you something. Have you heard the rumors about the Chiefs getting favored by the refs? I mean, if you're a true Kansas City fan, you've probably heard this before, but this time, it's not just talk. ESPN dropped a graphic that has fans and, let's be honest, haters in an uproar. This chart is causing serious waves, suggesting that since 2021, the Chiefs have consistently benefited from more penalty calls against their opponents in the playoffs. Crazy, right? But is it favoritism? Or are the Chiefs just that good at putting other teams under pressure? What do you think? Are the refs favoring Kansas City? Or is this just the usual haters gonna hate situation? Let me know in the comments, because I know you've got an opinion on this. Stick around, we're diving into the numbers next, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Alright, so let's get into the numbers because this ESPN graphic is wild. Since 2021, the Chiefs have played 11 playoff games. Want to guess how many of those games their opponents racked up more penalties and more penalty yards? 10, yep, 10 out of 11. And we're not just talking about random penalties. It's the judgment calls that make people raise their eyebrows, things like pass interference and roughing the passer. These are the kinds of calls that can completely swing momentum in a game, and Kansas City? Well, they've benefited from them in a big way. Now, here's the kicker. Warren Sharp, a trusted analyst, looked deeper into this data just to make sure it was accurate, and guess what? It checked out. But before you jump to conclusions, here's something to chew on. Are these penalties proof that the refs favor Kansas City? Or could it be that Mahomes and the Chiefs' offense are so dynamic, they force opposing defenses into making costly mistakes? Let's settle this debate together. Go to the comments and tell me, do you think this is about favoritism, or is it just the Chiefs being a step ahead? And hey, vote in the poll. Let's see where you stand. Okay, now here's where things get interesting. Let's rewind to the 2020 playoffs, back before this supposed penalty advantage started showing up. During that postseason, it wasn't the Chiefs benefiting from calls. In fact, it was the opposite. Remember Super Bowl LV, that game against the Buccaneers? Yeah, that one still stings. Kansas City was flagged 11 times for 120 yards, while Tampa Bay? Just for penalties for 39 yards. Talk about lopsided. Here's a thought. Back then, Tom Brady was leading the Bucs, and for years, people claimed he was the one getting all the referee love. So could this whole favoritism thing just be a pattern with elite quarterbacks? First Brady, now Mahomes. What do you think? Is this really a torch-passing moment in NFL history? Drop your take in the comments. I'm dying to hear what you think about this connection. Coming up next, we're diving deeper into the idea of Mahomes inheriting the golden treatment on the field. Don't go anywhere, so let's talk about Mahomes. Could it be that he's inherited what some fans jokingly call the golden treatment from the refs? You know, the same one Brady supposedly had for years. Here's the thing, Patrick Mahomes isn't just a quarterback, he's the quarterback. His style of play, his ability to extend plays, and the constant threat he poses force defenses to push the limits. And when you're constantly under pressure, mistakes happen, sometimes big ones. Is it favoritism, or are defenses just cracking under the weight of his talent? Think about this. The most controversial calls usually come from judgment penalties, things like roughing the passer and pass interference. Are those tough to call? Absolutely. But when a guy like Mahomes is making magic happen on the field, it's hard not to think he's getting some extra love from the officials. So here's a question for you. Who do you think got more help from the refs in their career, Brady or Mahomes? Drop a name in the comments and let's see who wins the debate. Up next, we'll wrap this up and ask the big question. Is all this drama just noise? Or is there something real behind these claims? Stay tuned. Alright, so here's where we land. The numbers don't lie. Since 2021, the Chiefs have had a clear advantage in playoff penalties. But does that mean favoritism? Or is it just Mahomes and the team being so good they force opponents into mistakes? At the end of the day, maybe this isn't about refs, but about greatness. What do you think? Are the Chiefs getting unfair help? Or is this just what dominance looks like? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to vote in the poll, favoritism or skill. Can't wait to see where you stand.